With nearly 5,000 specialists dedicated to supporting dealer financial services, Ally has the expertise to help you with your retail finance, F&I, and remarketing needs. We're all better off with an Ally. Contact your local Ally account executive to get started today. Ally, do it right.
Welcome to Daily Drive for Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. I'm Kellen Walker in Detroit. Today on the show, ICE raid disruptions spread beyond Hyundai and LG to other Korean projects. Toyota reportedly plans to make electric SUVs at its Kentucky plant. And Polestar CEO Michael Lohscheller touts the EV startup's new flagship vehicle. Plus, we'll hear from SellMyRide's president Don Pope and the company's new chairman, Chip Perry.
When I saw that dealers were able to capture their fair share of local acquisition opportunities, I said, yes, I want to be part of that.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry. The fallout from last week's immigration raid at Hyundai and LG Energy's plant near Savannah is reverberating across the industry. Construction has now been disrupted at multiple LG Energy Solution sites across the U.S. Meanwhile, people familiar with the matter tell Bloomberg News that some Korean staff are balking at assignments over fears of being caught in similar crackdowns. According to one person, LG Energy has ordered the immediate return of all workers and contractors traveling under the U.S. Visa Waiver Program, known as ESTA. It has advised those on short-term B-1 visas to remain at their hotels. An update to a story we brought to you on yesterday's show: Toyota plans to make 2 battery-powered utility vehicles at its Georgetown, Kentucky plant and will end production of a luxury Lexus brand model at the site. That's according to a person familiar with the matter who spoke with Reuters. The person says the EVs Toyota plans to build in Kentucky will be based on the RAV4 and the Land Cruiser. Japan's Nikkei news outlet previously reported that the automaker plans to consolidate production of Lexus vehicles in the U.S. into a single location, down from 2. Toyota declined to comment to Reuters about its future product plans. And Jaguar Land Rover says some data has been compromised after the British automaker was hit by a cyber attack that has derailed production and sales. The company said it was informing the relevant regulators after discovering some data was affected. Companies must inform the UK's Information Commissioner's Office if any information is stolen or face fines. A JLR spokesperson declined to comment to Bloomberg on the nature of the data and whether customer information was affected, saying the investigation is ongoing. And those are today's headlines. You can find more details on all those stories at autonews.com. Our colleagues in Europe are spending a big part of their week covering the IAA summit in Munich, where automakers are announcing product plans and showing off their newest models. Automotive News Europe managing editor Doug Bolduc got a chance this week to catch up with Polestar CEO Michael Lohscheller. They sat inside the new Polestar 5, which premiered at IAA this week.
Hello, everyone. This is Doug Bolduc with Automotive News Europe, and we are at the IAA in Munich today with a very special guest, Michael Lohscheller, CEO of Polestar, and we are sitting in his latest creation, the Polestar 5, a halo car luxury sedan that they just launched the other day. And Michael, tell us some of the highlights of this vehicle.
Well, great to see you all. And you're right, we are in the Polestar 5, which absolutely is the flagship of the Polestar brand. It really embodies everything what our brand stands for. That's in particular the design, exterior and interior, but also the performance element and sustainability. So a few highlights. This car is on our own new platform, the Polestar Performance Architecture. It sets new technological standards. It comes with 800-volt technology. Now, pay attention to this one. This car accelerates from 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds. It has 884 horsepower. In the interior, we continue the great success story with Google. And I think it's really a fantastic flagship. And it's so great to launch it, to show it here at IAA. And we are downtown Many people are coming, many people are looking at it from the outside, and obviously many people also see it from the inside. And by the way, another fun fact, I am 2 meters tall and there's plenty of space for me in the back. And it's really a 4-seater car, and great to see you all here.
Fantastic, Mikhail. And that was a great description of the vehicle. Now, one of the things, because a lot of our viewers are in the U.S., and in the U.S., a lot of the questions are about electric cars. Should I go electric? Also in Europe, we're seeing more people jumping into electric in Europe. This car is going to compete against the Porsche Taycan and against the BMW i7. But you still have some competitors that are driving with internal combustion engines. You gave some of the statistics about what this, you don't give up anything by moving to electric. From your experience, again, you've run car companies that are all electric, you've run them with ICEs. Why would someone even consider going electric?
Well, because it's so much fun to drive it, right? And as you say, we go electric only at Polestar. I think the fun to drive, the performance element is outstanding. And then it's easy to use, right? For example, the charging is so fast. I think you charge in 18 minutes with the 800-volt technology. I mean, it's a small break, and then you can continue. The range is phenomenal. I think you get everything. And of course, most important from my point of view, from our point of view, is the future of mobility is without emissions, right? Climate change is real. Maybe it's not the hottest topic in media in these days, but it's real. And with driving this car, you don't have to worry about emissions, and you get everything. You get all the fun, you get all the benefits, and this is exciting.
Thank you, Mikhail, so much for joining us today. He took a few minutes out of his very busy schedule because it is packed here at the IAA or IAA in Munich, where this car, the new Polestar 5 luxury sedan, has debuted. Mikhail, thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, Doug, and great to see you all. See you soon.
Coming up, SellMyRide President Don Pope and the company's new chairman Chip Perry join the show. That's next on Daily Drive.
Daily Drive listeners like you have access to the lowest price for Automotive News Congress 2025 on September 11th.
The event is where the industry's biggest players tackle its toughest challenges. Congress attendees don't just follow the industry, they lead it.
This year's featured speakers include Hyundai Motor Group Executive Chair Yu-Sung Chung, Asbury Automotive CEO David Holt, and General Motors CEO Mary Barra.
We are investing in America. We're creating jobs. That's creating IP in this country. And I think, the United States needs to lead in key technologies.
Join us to gain the insights and connections needed to steer your business through massive change.
To get the lowest price for the event, go to autonews.com/events, select Auto News Congress, and type in the discount code DailyDrive. That's one word, all caps, Daily Drive. And we'll see you on September 11th in Detroit.
For over 100 years, Ally has helped dealers like you serve your customers by providing the best-in-class products and services you need, and by remaining true to the automotive passion we share. Your dedicated Ally account executive will work hand in hand with you to help you gain efficiencies, increase your product offerings, and work to improve per-vehicle revenue. Because we care about your business as much as you do. We're all better off with an Ally. Contact your local Ally account executive to get started today. Ally, do it right.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. Chip Perry is an auto retail veteran who steered vehicle listing sites AutoTrader and TrueCar. He's now joining SellMyRide, a vehicle acquisition platform for high-volume dealers. He spoke with Automotive News retail reporter CJ Moore, along with SellMyRide president Don Pope.
Chip Perry and Don Pope, welcome to Daily Drive.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, CJ.
So we're talking with you both today about SellMyRide, an online platform that allows auto dealerships to source used cars and trucks directly from private sellers. Dom, you worked on this after you'd spent years working in traditional auto retail and lead generation. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's something that I really started to work on around 4.5 years ago here in the UK, and then ended up over the other side of the pond and met a special person in Chip Perry, and really kind of established that there's a huge need for it over in the States as well. And that's something that we're working on right up to today.
And you had a specific reason for building SellMyRide, and there's a problem you say you're targeting with with it, and that's one of acquiring used cars and trucks efficiently. Can you tell us a little bit about the platform and how it helps achieve that?
Yeah, so I think a lot of dealers have really sort of established that a lot of the other means in which to acquire used cars, such as auctions and the other third-party lead sources, don't necessarily result in acquiring cars that help them really meaningfully create profits in their business. And used cars is such a great driver of profit, and they're just looking for an alternative source. Direct to consumer is something that's happened in lots of other industries and hasn't really been mastered in the used car auto space as we see it outside of Carvana and CarMax, as I think a lot of dealerships know, have really started to eat their lunch in their local market. So what we're really here to do is help them fight that fight, help them acquire used cars directly from consumers, and hopefully, be a big revenue and profit driver for the dealerships.
And to which dealers is the platform available now? It's an online platform. Is it available to US dealers or is it international?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, our primary client base is actually in the US, and that's our main focus. That's what Chip is here to help me help me to grow our market share in the US. So really, this is a US based product. And which dealers is it available for? It's really targeted at dealerships who are already down the track with acquisition, people who have really turned on to the importance of acquiring used cars directly from consumers. It's people with resource, dedication, and the investment available in order to do it. And dealerships that are looking for at least 50 cars a month, this is really our target audience. So it's not really out there for everyone. It's out there for dealerships who are already, down the track and who are really trying to grow their used car acquisition monthly.
And Chip, we at Auto News know of you from your time as CEO of TrueCar, which is a vehicle listing site, and going even further back as CEO of AutoTrader, now part of Cox Automotive. How did you come to know of SellMyRide, and what business practices or goals set it apart from the growing pool of dealer targeting online inventory platforms to the degree that you wanted to join?
Sure. Thank you, CJ. Well, I met Dom at NADA in New Orleans, and immediately after I learned about his platform, I said, this is interesting. The way the platform works is they do digital marketing against a dedicated landing page that's dealer branded exclusively in local markets. And they bring prospects through Google and Meta in a very targeted way to a landing page that converts at 40%. And those leads then get handled by the lead handling team, which is assisted by SellMyRide's client success team. So when I saw the ingredients and the success that the dealers were having, I said, I need to dig in. So I went to visit some of Dom's clients, people like Bob Ruth Ford in Pennsylvania and Germain Honda in Dublin, Ohio, and others. And I learned how successful they were with the platform. And in all my years in serving the industry, I've always heard from dealers that one of their biggest concerns is acquiring profitable used car inventory. So this was a solution that in all my years in the industry, I hadn't seen anything quite like this. It's quite unique. And it very much complements, as Dom said, any other set of lead sources that a dealer is using to acquire opportunities to buy cars from the public. Another thing that really turned me on was when I understood and learned from some of Dom's clients, SellMyRide's clients, that the overlap in the leads that come from SellMyRide is almost zero with all the other third parties. We did a direct match with Kelley Blue Book, ICO, and Car Gurus. Less than 1% of the leads are in common. So I've always believed that the used car market, both buy side and sell side, is highly segmented. So this says there's a fresh segment of customers that are responding to ads on Google and Meta that aren't using Kelley or Car Gurus or other third parties to list their car or to request a quote. So these are some of the things that really excited me about the platform, and the fact that it produces such efficient cost per acquisition numbers, in the $500 or less oftentimes. So we're off to the races. I've joined the company as chairman. I'm helping Dom work on client success, particularly. That's where my passion is, spending time with dealers, their lead teams, coaching them, learning from them, providing feedback into the company. That's what I enjoy doing. So I'm excited about working with Dom and his team.
So we're talking years for you in auto retail, Dom, working on sales lead generation. About how much time are we talking? Where was it at? And what within that experience or process, made you start thinking about how dealerships could source more used vehicles directly from private party sellers? What did you see in that as potentially more efficient for them compared with other inventory channels?
Like I said earlier, it started here in the UK with a dealership called Big Motor and World. They're the largest independent. They sell about 75,000 cars per year. During COVID, they came to us because it was very difficult to get the used car inventory that they needed and at scale. And they asked us and challenged us to find a better way. So that's when we looked at the largest platforms, on earth, Google, Meta, and we looked to see if we were able to do something we'd done in other industries, which was look at a direct-to-consumer approach in the used car space. We started, 0 cars per month, and we scaled that up to 1,000 cars a month, and we've been able to maintain that for around 4 years now. So those guys have around 10 dealerships all across the UK. We then worked with Toyota and Lexus Great Britain, which is a really fun project, lasted about 18 months, and we designed their car buying process out. And it was that piece of work that really gave us the confidence to head over to the US to look at a much larger market and see, how our product and service would resonate. And really it resonated very well. When we spoke with dealers and consultants and experts and industry leaders like Chip, we sort of got the seal of approval that there really was great market fit. When we started to pitch dealers in order to work with them, we saw that everyone was interested in what we had and actually wanted to work with us, which is something that I've never really experienced before in my career. So I think that's when I knew we were onto something.
So there's a presence with this in the US, a presence in the UK. How many dealers have you guys estimated are using Sell My Ride?
So it's still in its infancy in the States. We're less than 50 dealers. The target is only to get to 500. We don't want to be all things to everyone. We want to work with certain dealerships who've got this real need for used cars directly from consumers who are willing to put the resource, the dedicated people who are skilled in acquisition to work with us. And that's the target here, not to work with everyone, just to work with around 500 select dealers across the States.
I understand Sell My Ride has such capabilities as geo-targeted ads. How do those work? Or perhaps the better question is, where do private party sellers see the ads for Sell My Ride to know dealers are seeking that inventory?
Perfect. So I'll just take you through the car buying process. The first thing that we do is we sit down with dealers and we try to understand their buy plan. So just really what inventory do they want? The age of the cars, the mileage, and certain brands that they may or may not want. We then set up a dedicated dealer landing page, which will be in their colours, their logo, their brand. It's all about building their brand, not our own. And then we have some really targeted digital marketing. So in the last 4.5 years, we've helped dealerships across the UK and the US acquire over $1 billion worth of inventory. So we've got pretty proficient marketers. So we send traffic from those huge platforms where there's big demand to the landing page. That landing page converts at a really high percentage, and then we feed those leads directly into the sales team CRM at the dealership. In some instances, we even help them take the first call just because we've got a call center in Nashville that are able to get to that lead in 30 seconds. And ultimately, all this is designed to help them acquire used cars. So there's a lot of secret sauce along the way. Nothing more so much is the client success, which Chip's already touched upon, how we're able to coach dealerships to success. We know what good looks like. We also know what bad looks like based on our experience. So that's the whole sort of 10,000 feet overview of what we do, how we get the leads, and how we help the dealers ultimately acquire cars.
And if I could add to that, CJ, one of the things that Dom's team does is track every lead all the way from the top of the funnel to the bottom, including when the appointments get set, when the appointment shows, where the car gets purchased. And the digital marketing team then takes the data from the people who actually converted and feeds that back into the top of the funnel. and they use a specialized Google purchasing system called SA360, which not very many people have access to. And so the targeting of the prospect out on the internet, viewing ads in a very sophisticated way, is what drives the very high conversion rate on that landing page. And that enables the process to be very efficient for the dealer, produces a very effective cost per acquisition and a very high ROI, the incremental gross profit from the cars that they buy and then sell compared to the cost of this program. ROI is exceptionally high. That's another reason why I'm very interested in working with the company.
That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as Automotive News Europe's Doug Bolduc for their help on today's podcast. You can get the latest news on used car retail, future products, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. Come back tomorrow for a conversation with TD Cowen's Itai McKelly about the firm's latest data on how resilient the auto industry has been amid tariffs.
To really understand where the cycle is going, you need to have a clear view on consumer desires and needs around personal mobility.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoyed the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.